Hi, my name is Kathy Macbeth, and we're with the Weekend of Hope, and we're talking to a number of young people who've come this weekend to talk about hope and talk about the diagnosis of cancer. And I'm just going to ask Jeff to start, if you would like to say a little bit about why you're here, Jeff.
I think I'm here just because there's other young people that have cancer. I finished this treatment maybe 14 months ago, and you have different questions than other people have. You have questions about starting a family or dating, and some of the things that are of interest to me are of interest to other people. And especially in Vermont, there's not that many people you can talk to. So if there's a gathering, I think it's worth going to.
Great, thanks. Kelly.
Why I'm here, I, like Jeff, I finished treatment in December of last year, and it's now May. So since then, I've been trying to meet other people with cancer, and particularly young people with cancer, to learn their story and to gain support from them, from hearing their stories, because every person has a story, and ours is a unique one, so.
Well, and I think the unique piece, too, is being as young as you all are and appreciating that life has started taking a turn that you didn't anticipate. I think that's a big piece.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. Bri, what do you mean by that? That's for sure.
Well, I just was diagnosed in March and stumbled upon this weekend online and just thought I could use a dose of hope. I mean, it was this Weekend of Hope, but I'd never heard of anything like it. So I think when you are diagnosed, you just get overwhelmed with mixed emotions, and as positive as you may be going through it, you still feel like alone, and particularly because there are fewer young people than older people. So.
I think you can ask questions to people your own age that you can't ask to your mom or your grandparents.
That's true.
And that's what a lot of things are. When you're in a chemo ward, you're looking left and you're looking right, and you're thinking mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, but you're not thinking spouse.
Right.
Or boyfriend, girlfriend. It's
right.
completely different.
It is completely different. And you're right. A lot of the people that you see in the waiting room or in the chemo ward or any of those places are in a specific, are often with gray hair and are often individuals that you may not think that you'd normally relate to, and probably you don't relate to. So it's really important to find that connection.
That's what I heard about Kelly's story, and I related to it because you're really in the prime of your life. You're making grad school decisions, you're making career decisions, you're making relocation decisions, and I think that it's just that much different. I don't want to say harder, but because I don't know what it's like to be older and have cancer, but definitely changes your life so completely that you were going to move to California, and now you're not, and I was going to apply to grad school, and it's put on hold. So yeah.
And those are big challenges. And then also after treatment, like Kelly's talking about after treatment, and as you start to restart your life, you often think, well, how do I do that? And what does that mean for me?
Right, and I think that's one of the good things about this weekend is you see a lot of people who have gone down a lot of different paths, and you see a lot of people who are doing well. You see some people who aren't doing well, but you see a lot of people who are doing well, and you can gain strength from that because...
And if you get annoyed at somebody, you can just get annoyed at somebody and say, this talk stinks, and go to another one. There's a lot of
no
stuff
pressure.
that's going on.
There are lots of stuff. Yeah. Have you found talks that have been relevant for you today?
There's been a couple, but there's also been some that I looked at that wasn't relevant.
Yeah.
There was a cancer and sexuality or something along that line. I popped my head in the door, and there was a bunch of grandparents, so I wasn't interested.
You weren't
and I went to a different
Yeah.
Sometimes people, some of the presenters don't necessarily understand how they're presenting. They might present and say, this is where we've been, these are the improvements, blah, 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 and what you're hearing is completely different than what they're trying to relate as a message of hope. You're hearing, what are your chances? And that's what you're focused on,
Right.
and stuff like that. But they might be trying something else to say, hey, look at what was new 5 years ago is old today.
Right.
So like they're trying to present that hope, but at the same time, you can get frustrated or you just want to move on,
Yep.
and you can go and do that.
Yeah. So there's enough options, then, you're thinking. There are enough options. That's great to know. And I do think, though, with your input and with Kelly and Bry's input, we could definitely do more for young people and going forward in the next Weekend of Hope. And I really do. I mean, we've done a lot more this year, honestly, Jeff, with your input than we did last year. So I appreciate all that you guys have done, and Kelly as well. And Bry, now you're on the team.